Hello, everyone who is joining the live. Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great night. Thank you for being in the live today. We're just waiting a couple minutes to get more people to join the live. So hope you guys had a good day. If you're trading, if you're investing, if you are selling stocks, or if you sold any stocks today, we're just here to talk a little bit about the stock market. What were the news today, and why is it that the stock market dropped? If you guys noticed towards the end of the day, by close, the market sold off quite a little bit. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Why is it that it sold off, and explain what happened today at I think it was around 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's when the market sold off, and it dropped about 1.5%, or the S&P 500 at least dropped 1.5%. So we'll talk about a little bit about what happened. Delaware, thank you for the joining the live. Yes, thank you for joining the live. Appreciate it. If you guys are here because of to share a little bit about what happened today at the market. So we're here to talk a little bit about why the market sold off. I don't know if you guys are invested, if you guys are trying to do a little bit of day trading or swing trading or scalping. What is it that you guys do in the market, or are you not in the market yet? And you're just here to kind of hear a little bit about it, and how you can possibly invest or maybe day trade. I don't know what your plan is, but nevertheless, this is a chat for everyone, even if you have experience or if you don't have experience. I have some people sometimes join that they do some kind of different kind of trading compared to the one I do. So if you guys are joining here live for the first time, my name is Gerardo. I do swing trade, and I also invest for the long term. I also have a daytime job, so I do this on the side. I do this in the mornings. I wake up, I study the market, see what's going on. If it's a good day to enter a trade, I do. If it's not a good day to enter a trade, then I just skip it. You don't have to trade every day. So, Julie, thank you for joining the live today. What's going on, Julie? Um, Julie is one of my first followers here on TikTok, so appreciate you, Julie, supporting the TikTok live. So thank you for being here today. And like I was mentioning earlier, we're just here to talk about what happened in the market today. So if you guys were paying attention to the S&P 500 and a lot of other ETFs, well, at the end, well, not at the end of the day. I think halfway through the day, the stock market sold off a little. So today we're gonna share a little bit about why it dropped, and so that everyone is aware of what to expect tomorrow possibly. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a couple minutes. So Delaware, thank you for staying in the live, man. Appreciate it. Where are you guys from? Where are you from, Delaware? Are you from Delaware actually? Um, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you for joining, Val. Thank you for being live. Yanga 360. Thank you, Val. Apple, buy or wait. Apple, it has a little bit of trouble, man. With I don't know if you heard about Tim Cook, kind of having a confrontation with Donald Trump because he wants to move the factories. Because you know how iPhones are made in China. Well, he wants to move the factories from China to India, and Trump is not really liking that. He wants the factories to be in America, and they were having a little bit back and forth, not discussion, but just a little confrontation because he's not happy with taking factories to India. So that's what's affecting Apple right now. I don't. Let me see what the stock is right now for Apple. Apple is one of those companies that doesn't really move too much, but when there is a catalyst news, it jumps. But it's been in this range for a little while. So let's look at the daily candles for Apple, and you're gonna see it probably before the dump and the pump and the dump, before and after the tariffs. Apple was around this same range because I remember seeing Apple and buying some Apple stock. So See, I'm going too far off. So yeah, I mean, since you can look at this chart, I don't know if I need to make it a little bigger. So back in about a year ago, Apple was at 197 to 216. It pumped all the way to 257, and then when most of the stocks were at all time high, and then now it's within the same range. So it's been a year, and Apple is within that same range. It closed very low today because of the news that I'm going to talk about in a minute. I think it almost touched 200 in the day. Let's see. So it went as low as, yeah, about 200 with 70 cents. It didn't quite get to 200, and it has, does it have support there? It just has a psychological support. Psychological support means that when people see like closed amounts, like a 200 or 205 or 210, that becomes a slightly support, right? But there's nothing that backs it up, because as you can see in the daily candles, there's nothing there. In the 4-hour candles, let's see, let me draw the line here. This is where it closed today, so about 200. It's got some resistance there that became support. Definitely there was a little gap here in the 4-hour. You see this little space here. That means there's a gap, and the gaps always fill all the time. So I mean, that might be where Apple stops. Again, that's just that would be my first prediction. If I was to buy Apple, I'll buy maybe a couple shares at 200, wait if it drops, and then if it doesn't, then I already making some money. But those are my thoughts on Apple. Maybe buy a couple shares at 200. Again, you can do your own research and think if it's a good time for you to enter. Right now, Apple is suffering a little bit, again, because of the confrontation between Tim Cook and which is the Apple CEO, and Donald Trump. So once we get past that and see how Apple is going to solve those problems of making iPhones either in America or India, then we'll know where the stock is going to go. But Apple is a good company. Apple is one of those companies that always recovers, because it's such a big company, such a good company that makes a lot of money. So I think Apple will be okay whether you buy at 200 or you buy lower or higher. In the long term, will be fine. So if you're doing investment in Apple, investment is always good, because in the long term you're gonna get your money. Delaware. So you are for Delaware. Okay, so Milford, Delaware. Okay, well, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the live. Thank you for joining us. And if you are not familiar with the channel, again, my name is Gerardo. I am a swing trader, and I also invest in the long term. So I have two portfolios. One of them is just to swing trade, and the other one is just for the long term, to trade or to sell. Hopefully in about 10 years, when it's my goal to retire. So Sultan, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, guys. If you're following the stream or the live, I appreciate it. And if this is the first time here in this channel, also thank you for being here tonight and giving me some of your time. All right, let me see. I'm just gonna try to. Okay, so question: Nvidia before or after earnings? Logic. I mean, again, not financial advice, right? We all have to say that. When I share examples, this is what I would do, right? If I was to enter that, I'm already in a position in. Why do I have this stuck here? I'm already in a position in Nvidia. So I bought at 93. I bought at 95. I bought at 120, I think. So my average is about 110. So for me, I'm going to get out of Nvidia sometime this week. I was this close to getting out today, before the news dropped, and the bad news about the bond market, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I was this close to sell, because I do not play earnings, because earnings is like you flipping a coin. I know Nvidia. That's why I'm investing in Nvidia. I know it's a good company. I know the numbers are gonna be good in Nvidia, but the problem is that the market does whatever it likes. If the market decides to dump Nvidia because they just didn't like something very small in Nvidia, then the stock is going to drop. So it could go either way. Even if Nvidia has really good earnings, it's probably gonna it'll probably drop if the market doesn't like it. So because I don't like to play that and to flip the coin, I just don't do earnings. That is just to protect my money, you know. So it's up to you. If it was me, I would buy after the earnings to know where the stock is gonna go. Because usually, if it does well and the market likes it, it's gonna pump. It's gonna hit probably all time highs, and then it's gonna bounce back to kind of retest that again. Because that's what stocks do. So that I would just wait until after earnings if it was me. But again, if it makes sense to you, you do whatever makes sense to you. Luke's the man. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. What do you think? CrowdStrike, it's going crazy. CrowdStrike. Let's take a look at CrowdStrike. And I'm just waiting for a couple more people to join the live to talk about what happened today in the middle of the day while trading. Um, I'm always keep up with the news, even if I'm not trading. Okay, just to know what's going on in the market. Let's see, CrowdStrike. Did it have good news? I don't know. It's been a while since I was tracking CrowdStrike, so I don't know what the good news. Oh wait, CoreWeave. That's not CrowdStrike. I thought the ticker symbol was the same. CRWB. CRWB. Yeah, that's the one. This is CoreWeave. Uh, I mean, this is a new company. It was just what do they do? Uh, I mean, with new companies, they could go crazy, but because there is not a lot of data behind that, you don't know if this is just a company that's gonna pump and then eventually dump a little bit. I don't know the company. I don't know what it does. It says technology services, package software. I've seen a lot of those companies. Um, let's see, but I can check something really quick. The beta. So beta is about 57. There's no price to earnings because they probably only had one earnings. So there's a lot of data missing. So I personally I wouldn't enter into this stock. It's already high at 107. Based on what I can see, nothing guarantees me that it's gonna stay up there. I mean, on the contrary, I think it's gonna hit some resistance somewhere, and then it's gonna go down. So that's just personally when I trade stocks, it's stocks that have a lot of years in the market. That way, I can see the patterns, right? That I can study it. I know that what the earnings are. I know um, if they have good financials, if they have cash flow, all of that stuff that's important. Which in one point in my videos I'm going to talk about, and here in the lives too, on how to identify good companies. So I mean, I don't know if you can see here in the screen, this part here that comes up where it says free cash flow. I don't know if you guys can see it. Whenever you see something that is negative, that means that they're losing money. So this company is losing money. It has $11.9 billion in debt, and they don't really have extra money to pay for new technology or new facilities or expand. So when I look at this number, I'm like, I don't need to enter into this company because at one point it's probably going to drop because the numbers don't make sense. Negative $1.3 billion is their free cash flow. So they're in debt and they don't have money to expand. So I wouldn't. And we'll check it later, and we'll see if it's still higher than that or lower than that. Um, my educational or my educated guess or prediction is that this stock is probably going to hit resistance and going to hit the floor. How far do you see Apple dropping? Hamid, Apple, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have bad news. I mean, it's a good company. The only thing is that Apple relies too much on iPhones, on the sale of iPhones. That's like their main source of revenue, iPhones. And right now, iPhones have been slowing down a little bit. There are rumors that their iPhones are going to be more expensive this year, and that sort of scares investors a little because if iPhones are more expensive, that means they're going to sell less. That means they're going to create less revenue. So that kind of scares investors, and you know, if they have guidance, well, they'll drop it, and that makes the stock drop. So I mean, it hit a low of about 169, $170 back when the tariffs were announced, and slowly it's been recovering a little. So I mean, it's got different resistances in the 4-hour chart around 200, which it's pretty much where it is right now. From there, it could go all the way to 190, 193, and then it's got a little bit of support. I'm sorry, not resistance, support at 190, and from there it's just a ride to the 170s, 175. So I don't think it's gonna go there unless there are bad news on something else in regards to Apple. So I think it's gonna hit resistance at 200, and if there are no more bad news, it's gonna trend, in that channel for a little while. So I don't see it dropping. There are not bad. There are no bad news on that. Val, thank you for the follow. Hamid, thank you for the follow. Please appreciate that. Logic, again, thank you guys for supporting this channel. When I get more followers and I get more likes, I have a better algorithm. Why am I having trouble saying that? Algorithm in TikTok. So when I have a better algorithm, I get more followers, I get more people new to the channel. So I'm just here to kind of give you a little bit of education on the markets, on how to tell if you're trading a good company, if you know what to expect for the market, what the news are for the day. So just sharing a little bit of what I've been learning for the past 6 years, 5 6 years, which is the time that I've been in the market. So, and I'm not trying to sell anything to anyone. For those of you that are regulars here to the channel, you guys know that I'm not selling anything. I'm just here to, because I enjoy talking about the markets, talking about the news, and at the same time, it kind of reinforces what I learned throughout the day when I teach to you guys or show it to you. When are earnings for Nvidia? Next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, the 28th, after market. So after the market closes, they're gonna show that. Thank you for the heart. Appreciate it. Thank you for the gift. Zoom. Why is good finance? Wait, what? Good financials. It dropped. Liz. Zoom. What's the ticker symbol for Zoom? I don't know it. I don't think I have it on my list. Oh, is it just Zoom? Okay. So wait, no, that's not it. Zoom Video Communications. Is that the one? I don't know. Give me the ticker symbol and I'll look it up, because I don't think I have it on my list, or maybe I do, but I haven't looked at this stock in a long time. But Zoom has a lot of competitors, so that's probably why it dropped. Maybe it didn't have good guidance. But if you give me the ticker, I can check it out. Liz, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Ness, thank you for the follow. Again, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Again, more follows has better algorithm on the channel, and also helps me get more followers, get me more likes. And if you guys are enjoying the live, I appreciate if you guys can tap the screen. That helps me a lot with the same thing with the algorithm. What about Amazon, Rosario? Amazon. Oh, Rosario, welcome to the channel again. Welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. The Amazon. So I am in Amazon. I bought some shares, and I'm trying to get out of Amazon. When it makes sense to me, when it hits my target. So for now, I'm just riding the wave. But Amazon today, it dropped because Target had bad guidance, and they also lost earnings and EPS. So Target didn't have really good reports, and that affected Amazon indirectly, because if Target has to raise their prices for the products they sell, Amazon typically has to match the same price. So let's say they raise the price for shampoo from $10 to $12. Well, Amazon usually matches the same price. If they are selling shampoo for $10, they're going to have to match it to $12. And that kind of sometimes stops people from buying products. If they buy less, then they have less profits. So that's the reason why Amazon dropped today. It was just an indirect effect of what Target reported this morning before the market opened. I think I have it here on the news. I was reading that. I mean, it happened earlier. I don't know if you watched my video on Target in the morning. I posted something on my channel, so that's why. Let's see. So that's the reason why it Amazon indirectly was affected. So yeah, so I think they had 2.8% drop. So they were projecting to bring in like 24 billion or something like that, and it was only at 23 billion in this quarter. And they also didn't have good guidance. So usually when they report earnings, at the end there's a conference call, and in the conference call they say they lay out the plans for the next 3 months, and that's called guidance. And when they don't have good guidance, then the stock drops. Even if they beat stock the earnings, if they bring in more revenue and they beat EPS, that still affects the stock if there's no good guidance for the next 3 months, because the investors are looking forward. They're looking at what's going to happen in the next quarter. They care about what happens now, but the guidance is more powerful, because sometimes there are some stocks that don't have good guidance, or I'm sorry, don't have good EPS, so they lose the EPS, they lose on revenue, but it has good guidance and the stock pumps. Okay, so earnings are important, but guidance is more important, because guidance tells investors, okay, you can put the money in now because we have good plans in the next 3 months. And in the case of Target, they said they were going to have to deal with tariffs, probably raise some prices, and they project not as much revenue because of some trouble they had with the what's it called, DEI, that they had to deal with that a couple months ago. So all of that stuff is affecting their earnings for the next 3 months, and that's why the stock dropped. I think it dropped from, let's look at TradingView. I think it was about $99, close to that, and then it dropped to like 93. Where is Target? Sometimes I mean, I don't trade Target. I did at one point, but I've been staying with stocks that are more safe to play. So let's see. So yeah, I mean, at one point it was at $100, and today it closed at 92. So it had a pretty significant drop from opening to close. So that's what I think about that. So thank you for the gifts, Rosario. Thank you for the gifts, appreciate it. Tap the screen, guys. If you guys are new to the channel and you've never been here, join me. And we're here on the lives from starting at 9 p.m. to 10:30, 11 p.m. During the weekdays, Monday through Friday. So if you guys, if this is the first time that you join, my name is Gerardo. I trade stocks. I'm a swing trader, and also I am a long-term investor. So if you guys have questions about the market, what happened today, please stay in the live. We're going to talk a little in about 2 minutes about what happened today, why the market dropped towards the middle of the day. So those are interesting news for everyone. For if you guys are planning to buy a house or planning to buy a car, the news that dropped today that affected the market, are connected to interest rates. So if you guys are planning to do that anytime soon, you wanna hear that. Want to hear those news. Pretty babe, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Urban, thank you for the gift. Thank you for the emoji. Are you selling a course, James? No, I'm not selling a course. I'm just here to talk about the markets. I do have a PDF that people use as a first tool to learn about reading charts, and I give that for free. So if you send me your email in a message in TikTok, I can share that with you. And if that's what you're interested in, if you're interested in learning about the markets and learning how to read charts, I think that's a good start for you. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and send me an email. I'll send it to you sometime tomorrow. Rafi, do you trade futures? No, I don't. Rafi, because futures are not always accurate. So I like to put my money where I know where the stock is gonna go, or at least if I have a pretty good, instinct and prediction of where the stock is gonna go, then I do trade that stock. But futures, they're not very accurate. I mean, you probably know that. See, Richard, when are Nvidia earnings? The 28th. So next week, next Wednesday. Um, Rosario, thank you for the gifts again. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the roses. Hamid, thank you for the roses. Appreciate it. If I answer your question and you guys enjoy the answer, please tap the screen. Or if it's not your question but you like the answer to that question, again tap the screen. It helps me a lot. Again, with the algorithm for to get more viewers. Liz, ZM. So thank you, Liz. So ZM. There we go. So Zoom. I didn't even have it on my list. So let's take a look. So you said they had earnings. Earnings were good. Yeah. So they surprise. So they had 8 million surprise. So they have more revenue, and they also beat EPS by very little, but they beat EPS. So they have good earnings, and you're asking why it's dropping. I mean, it didn't really drop. When were the earnings? Was it out today? Wednesday 20. Yeah, that was today. Probably before market open, I'm assuming. Um, it didn't really drop. I mean, you could see that they reported earnings, it dropped a little, and then it tried to, go all the way to 85, and from there it just pulled back to 82. But that I wouldn't call that really a drop. It's probably, maybe has some resistance up here. Let's see. Yeah, so it's got resistance. You see if you go all the way in the 4 hour to back in February, it was already trending at this price for several days. I mean, let's look at the dailies. Okay, this is a little bit clear. So yeah, so it's been in that resistance for a long time, at around 85, $86. So once it hit that mark, it just pulled back because it's been in that resistance for a long time. So it's gonna take a little bit more than earnings to break through that. So, but I mean, Zoom, it's been in a downtrend for a little while. I mean, you can see here from all-time highs, probably back in COVID when everyone was using Zoom because you couldn't go to work in person, and that's when it pumped. And ever since, it hasn't been recovering. It's downtrending right now, and I don't know if it's ever gonna go back to those highs. Probably not, unless we have another pandemic. But I mean, it's been in that space. If I was to trade this, I mean, I would try to find something else that is, in the uptrend and not in the downtrend. All right. So it seems like we have a lot of people in the live now. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about before I answer your questions, guys. Thank you, James, for sharing the live. Appreciate it. If you guys share the live, that helps too. If you tap the screen with the likes as well, that also helps a lot. So let me start with the news that happened today. For those of you guys that are wondering why the market dropped towards the end of not the end, the middle of the day. You're gonna see here. I'm gonna go to the S&P 500. The S&P 500 was doing pretty good. Before 10 a.m. It hit 594. I thought it was gonna break to 600, which is one of the resistances. But then something happened. Um, in in an auction, because last time, I don't know, a couple days ago, I was explaining the two different investments that most investors go to. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm gonna write it up here because that kind of helps me organize everything. So the two main investments in the United States are stocks, which is what I love to talk about, right? Stocks. And stocks are different companies like Starbucks, McDonald's, Target, all of those big companies in the US. So all of those stocks are in here, in the stocks. And a lot of investors, they like to put their money in there because sometimes they have good returns. I mean, you've seen it on the SPY. It recovered from 480 to 590 in about a month and a half. So that is about a 20% return. So imagine the investors that bought at the bottom, and these guys buy millions of dollars worth of the stock. If they bought at the bottom and now they are at 590, that's a 20% return in a month and a half. So they made lots of money. So that's why a lot of investors, they like the stock market, because it's volatile. You could buy at the bottom, sell high, and make a lot of money. Now, the second and the safest way to invest is to invest in what they call bonds. Okay. Now, bonds, they are not volatile. Bonds are they are a kind of they call it a stock that the government sells, and they pay you a fixed amount, and that doesn't change. So for example, if I have a couple $1 million and I want to buy bonds, then the government is going to tell me, well, you have to leave the $1 million in the bond for 20 years, but I'm going to pay you 5% of whatever amount you give me. I'm going to give you 5% of that amount, and that's not going to change. It's not going to move up, it's not going to move down. You get your 5% for buying bonds, for giving me money. Okay. And that's money you're giving, you're lending the government. And in 20 years you get your money back, and then you get your 5%. So a lot of investors like bonds because they are secure. Okay. Stocks, on the other hand, they are volatile, they give you more money, but then they're also more they are high risk, because you never know if if there is a war, if there are tariffs, like what happened a month and a half. If you have tariffs, then that drops the market because everyone gets scared, and stores get affected. Everyone that sells something, or every store that gets sells something gets affected, and that drops the market. So investors really don't want to put their money into something like that when there's a lot of uncertainty. So they put the money in bonds, because bonds pay you 5%, and even if there's tariffs or a war or whatever happens, they're still going to pay you your 5%. Okay, so that is a contract that you sign with the government, and the government is going to give you your money no matter what, and it's going to give you your interest, 5%, 3%, whatever the bond cost or offers at the time. Does that make sense? Is everyone following along? I want to make sure that you understand what the bond is and what a stock is. Now, some of you guys might wonder, well, what is in the bond? In the bond, you have a lot of loans, okay, like your home loan or your car loan or credit cards. All of those kind of loans that most people tend to pay, like mortgages and stuff like that. So, um, anyways, all of those things are in here, are in bonds. So how is that related to what happened today? Well, every now and then, I don't know the dates, but every couple months, the government opens an auction to sell bonds to other countries, to Japan, to the UK, to China, all of these countries that want to invest their money in the United States because they know the United States is going to pay them a good percentage, right? So, because bonds pay a good percentage, and the money is guaranteed. They're gonna get their money back in a couple years with an interest, right, on the bond. So what happened today is that let's get rid of this. So what happened today is that they had an auction so that they could sell bonds to other countries, and I can't remember what the exact amount they were offering, but let's say they were offering 4%, right? So they said, well, come to the United States, invest in bonds, and we're gonna pay 4% of interest of whatever amount you put into the bonds. Okay, so I'm gonna sell you bonds, I'm gonna pay you 4%, and there was not a lot of interest. Not a lot of countries wanted to buy the bonds, which that surprised the auction, because they were expecting to sell a lot of bonds, and that did not happen. So because they were not getting the return they wanted, well, the treasury, they said, well, forget about the 4%, we're gonna pay you 5%. How's that? That makes it more attractive, doesn't it? So the other country said, well, maybe I like that. Maybe I like that. I'm gonna go and get in and buy some bonds, but I'm gonna take my money out of the stock market. So remember, we have stocks right here. So you have stocks. An investor said, well, I'm gonna move my money from here to here because now you're giving me a 5% return, of my money. So I'm gonna take money out of my stocks. I'm gonna sell some stocks, and I'm gonna buy some bonds because you're giving me a pretty good rate of return. And some countries did that, and then some other countries follow, and then some other countries followed. So what happens when a lot of people sell stocks? Well, stocks drop, right? Because not a lot of people are investing in stocks. They're moving their money to bonds. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay, ask me a question here if something is not making any sense. Okay. So yeah, okay. Do you understand? So that's what happened today. That's the reason why the market dropped at around 10 a.m. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't even know there was an auction because usually I don't follow that because it's never happened like this before. So I think one of the things that triggered this is the downgrade that happened last Friday when Moody, this credit agency, dropped the or downgraded, not dropped, downgraded the credit worthiness of the United States. That happened last Friday, which also affected stocks a little bit. But on Monday, everyone forgot about it. And then today, this happened. Some countries are not really uh, trusting the United States to pay to invest their money in bonds because they said, wait a minute, Moody just downgraded your credit worthiness. So now I'm more hesitant to put my money into the United States because your credit is not as great as it was a week ago, you know? So that's one of the reasons why there wasn't a lot of interest in buying bonds because of this report that came out last Friday of the United States downgrade in credit, and that's what caused not a lot of people being interested in bonds. Now, for those of you that are buying homes and cars and credit card debt and all that stuff, how does this affect you? Well, now that we understand why that drop in the market happened, what happens with bonds? Well, if bonds are paying now 5% to investors, okay, to all of these countries that are putting money into the United States, where do you think the government is going to get the 5% to pay the investors? They're going to get it from you. So if you were paying about a week and a half ago, you were paying like 6.5% interest on a mortgage. Okay, that's more or less what it was a couple weeks ago. Now that 6.5% went to 7%. So now you're if you're getting a loan for a mortgage, now I think it's higher than 7, but we're just gonna use 7 as an example. But that's what happened today. I mean, interest rates went up because now the government is paying other countries more for the yields. That's what they call it. So when they pay 5%, they call it a yield. No, so because the government is paying other countries more to putting their money into bonds, now they're gonna have to raise the interest so that they can pay for that interest, to the investors, and that's why interest rates are gonna go up for your house, for your car, if you're getting some loans, right? If you already got a loan and your interest rate is set, then it's not gonna be affected, but because of what happened today, the loans that they open probably in the next week, in the next 2 weeks, they might be a little higher. Okay, things might get down to normal and normalize, but as of now, in the next couple of days, that's probably where you're gonna see. Okay, all right. So that's pretty much the news I wanted to share. That's a reason why the market dropped today, because a lot of people are moving their investments to bonds and not to the stock market. Now the futures are not looking too bad. I was looking at the stock market earlier, and it seems like it's been recovering a little bit. Um, I mean, in my opinion, I think it was just an overreaction, just like the reaction from Friday. And I did say it Friday. I don't know if you guys were here on the live on Friday and Saturday when the report on by Moody came out. I said I think that's an overreaction because what they said on Friday, it's equally as you dropping your credit from 800 to 750. You still have good credit, right? At 750, I mean, you're still rocking. You're still gonna be able to get loans and pay back your loans. but your credit dropped because you have a little bit more debt. Okay, that's the same case in the case of the United States. They got downgraded to, I think, double A1 or something like that. That's what it's called, the next tier. They were triple A, they were downgraded to double A1. Okay, so again, if you want to put it into a different perspective, it's like you dropping your credit from 800 to 750, and that's the reason why that caused an effect on today's auction in the bond market. So to me, it's not something that is going to trigger the market to drop, because right now we are getting very close to all-time highs and we haven't gotten there yet. I firmly believe, again, that's my opinion, I firmly believe that we're gonna get to all-time highs before we drop again. Okay, we gotta hit those all-time highs because the market's been wanting to do that for a while now. Hit the all-time highs and then drop. Okay, so I know we're gonna get there, sooner or later, and then from there, maybe, yeah, maybe we'll see a drop. I don't see a bear market just yet. We don't have any data that is supporting a bear market anytime soon. So until we get more data, then I can give you a more straight answer. But as of now, I mean, everything looks like it's probably gonna hit all-time highs before it makes another good correction and fills that gap that you guys see here. Okay, especially because the futures are out and they're looking pretty good. I mean, it looks like some of the stocks are already recovering a little bit. They're not fully recovered, but they're looking better than what they did when they closed, or they're about the same. So they're not dropping any further. All right, so let's get to the question. So I hope everything that I shared with you guys, that little information about the bond market was of some knowledge to you if you guys are starting into this world of finances and stock market, and you got to keep up with the news, because that's what sometimes plays a big factor of whether you wait to enter into a position to buy some stock, or you buy or you sell the ones you already have. That plays a big factor, especially with this administration. Every time they release some news, the market reacts. So you got to stay up to date with those news, and that's the whole purpose of me being here, to share the news with you guys. And you guys make your own conclusions, of course, but I just share my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer some questions, and let's get going. So if you guys are new to the channel, again, my name is Gerardo. I am a swing trader. I also do long-term investing for my retirement, hopefully in 10 years. That's my goal. And I really enjoy talking about the markets. So if you guys have questions, drop them here. If you guys are thinking about a stock, drop it in the comments. And don't forget to tap wherever that is here on the TikTok screen. So tap the screen, and that helps me a lot to be able to bring in more new people and share some of the stuff that I know. All right, so Zoom is a pullback. So James, yeah, pullback. I mean, it's hitting resistance. It went all the way up to, I think it was like 90 something, and then now it's back to the same level. So even if it had good earnings, maybe it didn't have good guidance. So that's why it's not moving. Okay, so let's go with James. So hello, James. I hope everyone's good, doing pretty good this Wednesday night. Um, do you think Amazon will drop more, Rosario? I mean, Amazon itself is doing pretty good. They had good earnings last time they reported, which was back in May. Was it May? Yeah, Thursday, May 1st. So May 1st, they reported they beat EPS, they beat earnings. They have good plans for the next couple months. They're just worried about tariffs. So I think that once tariffs have a better, um, we have more information about tariffs, I think Amazon is going to recover everything that it lost. As of now, I mean, it hasn't hit any other bad news other than what happened with Target, which was that they didn't have good guidance because they're gonna have to probably raise prices, and that's gonna affect their customers. and that indirectly affected Amazon. But other than that, I mean, there are no other news on Amazon right now. It's hitting this little line. You see the orange line. This line is the 200 moving average, and it's been respecting it. I mean, as of now, as long as it doesn't break it, it's just if it hits it and then moves up again, then it's probably gonna continue going up. But if it does break it, then you're probably gonna see it drop maybe to 195, 190, somewhere around that range. Um, iCord, share the live. Thank you, iCord. Appreciate that. James, welcome to the stream. Cordero, thank you again for the book. I'm still reading, but we'll be joining your live to share and like. Thank you, Jay Cordero. So I hope that helps, man. That book is really good. Uh, I gave this book for free. It's a PDF. I got it for free, so I pass it out. I pay it forward to whoever wants to learn how to read charts, and it's a really good book. And I mean, you can ask Jay Cordero, and he's in the live right now, and he started reading it. So it's very interesting. All the information that it has, it teaches you, some of the patterns of these candles, and how to be able to tell, what how the market is going to react the next day, or the next week. So I hope you enjoy it, dear Cordero, and hope you finish it. Take your time, man. Whenever you don't understand something, just go back to it and reread that information. Yes, watching your video. Yeah, awesome, Rosario. What's a good AI companies to invest in? Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia is number one. It's the king of AI right now. Luca, what happened with Nvidia? Luca, nothing. Nvidia, it's good news after good news after good news. The only thing that happened today, what I explained just now, is the bond market. More investors are moving into the bond market, and they left some of the stocks. So that's the reason why it was a little bit of a sell-off today. But nothing bad with Nvidia. They have earnings next Wednesday, so I thought the stock was going to hit 140 before earnings. I don't know that it's gonna get there. I think it's probably gonna hit resistance again at 135, 136, and stay there until earnings. So that's my opinion. Again, that's what I've been looking at the what I've seen on the market. Unless we have more bad news, then I do see it dropping at least to the 200 SMA, which is at around 125, 127, around that range. But as of now, there are no bad news on Nvidia other than the macro economy. James, what do you teach? What do I teach here or at my job? My job is, for those of you new to the channel, I am a teacher. I teach Spanish, so I'm a Spanish teacher at a high school. So that's what I do during the day. In the morning, from 6:30 to 8:30, that's Pacific time. I look at the markets and see what's gonna happen in the day. Look at the news, study all of this stuff so that I know what my next move is going to be, and then I go to work. Right. So I'm not sitting in front of the TV or the screen all day just because I'm a swing trader. So I don't buy and sell in the same day. I buy one day if it makes sense, and then I don't sell until I hit my target. So Caden, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Bro, I love this. You're not selling anything. You're not promoting anything. This is from the heart. Absolutely, man. S088. I have a mentor, and this guy kind of does the same thing I do. He shares a lot of stuff with people. We have a group in WhatsApp, and he doesn't. I mean, I did pay for one thing one time for something he offered, but other than that, I mean, he gives out so much information for free. So I don't see the point of me, at least as of now. I first of all, I don't have the time to sell stuff. I make my money in the market, and I love this stuff. I mean, I sometimes I go to bed and I'm thinking about it because it's just how exciting it is for me to talk about the market and look up information, and I just enjoy talking about this. So I do it from the heart. I do it so that people, when they invest, they don't make the mistakes I made. Okay. When you start investing, a lot of us, we want to get rich quick. We want to make money because we want to see results when we start. And the problem is that when you use that formula of wanting to get rich and wanting to get a lot of money out of a trade, you end up trading the wrong stocks. You trade the stocks that are gonna give you $1,000, but they're gonna take away 2,000. Okay, when you lose the money. And I made that mistake. I think most people who start trading when they don't have the fundamentals, we tend to make those mistakes unless until we find someone that really teaches us how to do things right, and then we take the time to study, to practice, to read the market, to take some workshops, to take some courses, and then understand in reality how the market works, how companies work, what some companies do that others don't. When we understand that, then we can make this consistent. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to make profits consistently, even if it's every month, or every couple weeks, or every 2 months, doesn't matter. But if I make that consistent, if I'm making $500 consistently every month, that to me, that's awesome. That's like, one in 100 people that start investing. Okay, even if it's 100, it might not be a big amount for you, but $500 is probably your car payment that you're getting out of the market just because you have some knowledge or a lot of knowledge in the market. That's pretty good money. And sometimes when you watch this people on TikTok um or somewhere where they're trying to sell you something, and they say, if you join me in 15 days, you're gonna make, you're gonna invest 1,000 and you're gonna make 5,000. No, 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 no. That doesn't happen that way. It never happens that way. Of course, they're gonna say that because they're trying to buy. They're trying to make you buy their course, or their classes, or pay for their one-on-ones, whatever. But there's just absolutely no way that someone can make money in 15 days. That much money in 15 days. Some of these guys, obviously, they do options and stuff like that pays them a lot of money. Um, but that doesn't mean that that's going to happen to you in a month or in a week. It just doesn't work that way. If you want to make money consistently, you got to do it right. If you just want to play the lottery, I mean, that's not what you should do in the market. So anyways, that's what I'm here for. I'm just here to kind of tell you how to avoid the things that I did and the things that I've seen other people do in the market, so that you can make this profitable. Is there a Trump coin today? I don't know, man. I haven't. I mean, I haven't even kept up with that coin. I know it was released, a pump, a dump, but those things are a good example of how not to make profits consistent, because that thing could go anywhere. It could go to 100, and then the next day it could go to zero. So there's no way you can be consistent with that. CoreWeave today. Caden, what's the ticker symbol for CoreWeave? Bitcoin is 110 today, new high. James, that's one of the reasons, because a lot of the investors, they put the money out of the market, and then they put it somewhere else. I mean, bonds is the most secure thing. Bitcoin, for what I know, because the dollar has been depreciating for a little while ever since the tariffs started, then dollar is a currency. A lot of investors, they say, well, if the dollar is dropping, I'm going to put my money somewhere else in a different currency that maybe pays me a little bit more. And that's why, it's been affecting Bitcoin in a positive way. So yeah, so we broke all-time highs. I think the all-time high was 108,000, and now it's 110. Okay, but again, Bitcoin could do whatever. It's a very inconsistent stock, because it could be at 110 right now, and tomorrow morning it could wake up at 100. So it's one of those stocks that goes up and down. I don't understand a lot about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. That's not my expertise, so I wouldn't be able to tell you more about that. But that's what I've noticed with Bitcoin and XRP and all of these cryptocurrencies. They could go anywhere. They could go to zero. They could go to 10, because they don't sell anything. They don't have earnings reports. They don't have EPS. They don't have this kind of a revenue that other companies produce. Is it the same that you sent to me in email, Rosario? Yes, that's the same book. As of now, I haven't shared any of the other ones, but eventually I will be sharing some of the other books. to so that you guys can continue your education in the market. Worried about DXY. John, what is DXY? I don't know that stock. Uh, DXY. Oh, the currency, is that what it is? US dollar currency index. That's what I was talking earlier. Because it's been dropping. I mean, you guys could see that it's been dropping, that the dollar currency, and I mean that's one of the reasons. Excuse me. Um, because a lot of people are losing trust in the dollar, right? And they're moving their investments to something else. So yeah, absolutely. That's why it's been dropping for the past 3 months. Zoom is a pullback. Yeah, thank you. So we got that. Thank you, James. J Boy, thank you for the follow. Icor, thank you for the follow. Thank you for sharing the live. Bonds, kind of like a CD in the bank. Yep, James, exactly. Kind of like a CD. CD is a kind of a service that some banks offer, where you put in money into the bank, and then the bank pays you a percentage, but you cannot take out your money until the expiration of that contract. So let's say they tell you, lend me your money for a year and I'll give you 5% back. So you got to put in the money, and then at the end of the year they give you the 5%. Some banks pay you the 5% every 3 months. Some banks give it to you at the end, but that's the whole point. Uh, John, yep, absolutely, man. You worked about Dixie and bonds tariffs 2.0. Um, what's the tax on bond return? Ness, I'm assuming it's going to be the same as in stocks. Is that what you mean? Like how much tax you pay on it? It's gonna be depending on how long you hold it for. If it's more than a year, typically it's about 15% tax. If you hold it for less than a year, because there are bonds that are about 6 months and then a year. So if you hold it for 6 months, you're gonna pay about 20-25%, depends on your bracket. But typically tax is higher, the shorter time that you hold it. So Rosario, yes. Let's see. Okay, trying to get to all the comments, guys. I think I got a lot of them and need to keep up. See. Ooh, need to catch up. I'm a little bit behind in the comments, so if you guys commented and I'm answering your question, help me with the taps on the screen. I'm a little low on the tab, so I'm trying to get to 20K before the end of the day. So give me a like if I answer your question. If you guys like my question, if you guys like what I share with you, the knowledge, tap the screen and follow me for all the lives that I do here Monday through Friday, 9 to like 10:30 ish, 11. I'll be here. Let's go with the next question. So, Icor, thank you for sharing the live. J Boy, thank you for the follow. You need to see also the macro environment. Yeah. So the macro news. The macro just means the news in general, like what's happening outside of the markets. Then you have the micro, I'm sorry, the micro news, not micro, the micro news. Micro news are just what happens in the company. Macro, what happens outside the company in general. So yeah, so you need to look at the macro. Um, Too much debt. Yeah, we are at about 36 trillion in debt, I believe. But I mean, Trump has good plans. He's trying to get a lot of investors into the U.S. He was just in Saudi Arabia last week, and I think they're going to invest about 1.2 trillion or 3 trillion, something like that. Um, and they're gonna invest in the United States. So hopefully that helps lower the debt. Martel Reed, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Could you stocks keep dropping? Could stocks keep dropping from this? Also, it's hard to tell, man. We don't know. In my opinion, again, this is my opinion. I don't think this is a news catalyst that is going to send the market down for the next week. I think tomorrow we might wake up a little bit in the red. As of now, let's look at the futures. The futures are looking okay. They're a little bit in the green. So sometimes most of the time the futures are not accurate, but it looks like the bleeding has stopped for now. So I don't see how this is gonna make the stocks drop all the way down, because they're not. It's bad news but it's not something that is going to send the market to the bottom. John, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Paseo, thank you for the follow. Too much dead. Yeah. Trump pizza, bullish. Buy Trump pizza. Kinney Binny. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if you hit the lottery, if you like to play the lottery, by all means. What do you think about Nvidia and Google? Two of the best, Jose. Nvidia and Google are two of the big ones. That's why I have them here on my Max 7 list. These are the kind of companies that have a lot of potential in the future. So even if you buy at, well, depends what kind of buyer you are. If you are a swing trader, then maybe buying now it's a little bit riskier because Nvidia has earnings next week, and then Google has been pumping because of the event they had yesterday and the day before. So maybe wait for a pullback and then get into those companies. But again, you can do whatever you need to do. You do your own research. But to me, these are companies that are great to hold for the long term. Shareholder dinner tomorrow. We'll have pizza by Trump Pizza. Kinibini. What are some stocks that will go up tomorrow, Jose? I don't know, man. Tomorrow I think it's gonna be a choppy day. Well, actually, no. I'm wrong because tomorrow we have two important pieces of information. We have PMI reports in the morning, and then we also have the home sales in the morning, and we have also unemployment reports. Okay, those typically are watched by the Federal Reserve so that the Federal Reserve can get a good idea on whether they're going to drop interest pretty soon or not. If unemployment comes in higher, which means there's more unemployment than what's expected. I think it's expected to have 240,000 unemployment claims. If it comes higher than that, then the Fed starts thinking, well, there's a lot more unemployment. That means there's going to be less spending. That means inflation is going to go down. That means I got to do something about interest rates and I got to lower them. Now, if the opposite happens, if unemployment comes below, so less people claim unemployment, then the Fed sees this as, well, there are more people working, which means they have more money, which means they buy more, which means inflation is going to stay up, which means I don't need to cut rates. Does that make sense? So those are the reports that are coming out tomorrow morning. I will be dropping a video tomorrow morning. So if you guys are following my channel, you will see that early in the morning, probably around 6:30, once that report is released, and that will give you a good idea of where the market is going to go. If the report of unemployment is higher, probably the market is going to like that because they have a good indicator that possibly the Federal Reserve is going to drop rates, maybe in the meeting in June, maybe in the meeting in July, but that increases the chances that they cut rates. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. So those are two pieces of information that will come out tomorrow. So we do have some data tomorrow. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we didn't really have much other than the news that dropped today, and the news that we had from last Friday about Moody dropping the score of the United States. But other than that, there was no data. But tomorrow is going to be a good day for data. James, sounds like the bank will be in trouble again. We don't know, man. I hope not. Jose, Kinibini, Floaters Ice, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Pizza anniversary tomorrow plus Tom shareholder dinner. Yeah, you keep saying that, man. I hope. Savig, thank you for the gift. Rosario, thank you for the hat. I didn't even see it. I mean, I never seen myself with a hat on the live. I want to see that. Just because I stream from my computer. A lot of the TikTokers, they do it from their phones, so they're looking at their screen, but I'm looking at my computer, so I don't see the hearts. I see it on the side on the chat. I see that you guys give me a gift, but I don't see it on my phone. So sorry if I don't see it right away. But that was Rosario. Thank you for the hat and the mustache. I see it here. I just didn't see it live. So thank you. Dawson, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. CT, follow. Jose, follow. TJ, all of you, awesome. That's awesome. That's great. I'm really happy to see a lot of more people following my channel here at the live, and I hope that some of the information I share with you guys helps you decide. At one point, again, you got to do your own research and your own conclusions, but at least what I share with you can help as a foundation, and you start building that knowledge so that when you buy stocks, you don't go for the stock that everyone's talking about. I'll give you a good example, okay, for those of you that are here. Um, a lot of people have been asking me about this stock. This stock is called SIDA or SIDA or something like that. I don't know how you pronounce it. This is a stock that pumped. And I mean, if you guys were here in the live yesterday and the day before, this is where the stock was yesterday. It was at $8. And a lot of people were, they were in the live asking me, hey, what do you think about SIDA? Is it going to go to the moon? Because this stock used to be worth a lot more money, and now it was trending at $1, and then it went to $8. So is it a good stock? Is it a good time to buy? And I told them, this kind of stock is one of those lottery tickets. Like when you go to the gas station and you buy a lottery ticket and you scratch it, and then you hope, right, that you get some money. Sometimes you do. I mean, if you guys have played, the scratchers, uh, and you win, you get really excited. Okay, you're like, oh, I won $100. I'm gonna use some of that money. I'm gonna keep it, and then I'm gonna go buy more. And then you go buy more, and you don't win anything. And then a week, maybe 2 weeks later, you're like, I'm gonna buy a couple more because I won 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna go buy more, and you go buy more, and you don't win. And then you come back home. Maybe you wait another month, and you're like, oh, okay, I have some money. I'm gonna go buy another ticket because I won a month ago. I'm gonna try to win again, and you go and nothing happens. Okay, that kind of analogy, take it as if it was this stock. Sometimes your stocks like this are gonna make you some money. Sometimes they're gonna make you pretty good money. Imagine if you invested $1,000 at $1. Okay, that gives you 1,000 shares, and it went to $8 yesterday. You have 800% gains at $8,000. So your $1,000 in a day or in a 2 day time, it turned into 8,000. That's awesome. Okay, but the problem with that stock, as you guys can see here, it dumped again, and today it hit like $4. I think it closed at $5. And a lot of people who are in this stock, they're just thinking, oh, I'm gonna wait for the stock to get to $8 again, and I'm gonna sell. But most of the time, what happens with this kind of stock, this is what we call a penny stock. Okay, what happens with penny stocks is they usually drop again, and they drop even lower than what it was when you bought the stock, which means now you're gonna be negative in your $1,000. Those are the kind of stocks that I don't invest in. I don't put my money in there because I know there is a big risk. The market is already risky. I mean, with even if you buy a really good company, you're under the risk that the company is not going to have good reports, or the company is going to go down, or it's going to drop. Even if you buy one of the best companies in the stock market. Now imagine if you already buy a risky company on top of the risk that you always run when you enter into the market. That's like like shooting yourself in the foot. Okay, so I'm just saying, for all of you who are trying to enter the market at one point, and you're thinking about buying stock, you're like, well, what kind of stock do I buy? Do I buy the stock that everyone's talking about because it's gonna go to the moon and everyone's telling me to buy it, or my friend at work told me to buy it, or my friend told me to buy it? And that's not how you do things. In the stock market, you got to do your research for each company to know whether it's a good company to put your money in, and risk your money in that company with a little bit less risk. Okay, because any company that, like I mentioned, any company that you buy stocks for, is going to be risky. Okay, but there are some that have little risk. There are some that have high risk. This is one of those companies that has high risk. All right, so let's continue with the questions. Kate, thank you for the follow. If I skip your name and I don't thank you for following this channel, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read all the comments as I go, but I appreciate it. And leave your comment here if you guys have questions about the stock market, questions about the news that drop every day that move the markets, and I will do my best to answer those questions. So Leslie, thank you for the follow. Eduardo, Veep, Irene, thank you. Savic, thank you for the Candlestick Bible. Oh, you got it too, right? Yeah. So no problem. If any of you guys are here and are trying to learn about how to read charts, that's one small step into entering into the world of trading, okay, and how to make money in the stocks. And that's a really good book that you can use to get you started. So if you guys would like a copy of that, I give it out for free. All I ask is that you tap the screen, give me some likes, share the lives when you're here, and all I need is for you to read the book. Okay, just read it, and understand a little bit of what I'm talking about, and all the charts that I show you here, what the candles mean, what the orange line here means, the green line, and all those things that you see on this chart. If you want a copy of that, just send me a message with your email. I have a lot of people that I already share that book with, and it's free. It's just a PDF that I got for free. It's a big PDF though. I think it's like 200 pages, and it will take you a little while to read it and go over it, but it's really good. So you'll like it. So if you guys are interested, just send me a message with your email. I'll send it to you. Wouldn't it be better to put money into a high yield savings account versus bonds? Ness. Um, yes. So high yield savings account, you're talking about like those accounts that give you about 4%, 5% um, every year, right? I mean, it could. The only thing with that is that um, when you put money into a high yield savings account, let's see, I'm trying to remember. No, you know what? You don't have any restrictions with the high yield savings. You can take the money out when you want, right? If I'm not mistaken. Uh, I mean, that's a good point. I know I know some banks have restrictions of how much money you can put into the high yield. So when people buy bonds, they buy it in millions. Okay, so they buy bonds in millions, if not billions, and you wouldn't be able to put billions into high yield savings because I'm pretty sure there's a cap. I think it's 250,000, something like that, or a million. I'm not sure, but there will be a cap in a high yield savings. So these people that are investing all of this money in bonds, they will be limited in a high yield savings account. So that's the only thing that I can think of why they don't put the money into high yield savings, because high yield savings are a pretty good option for your money to be safe and still make some money every quarter or every 6 months, which is when they pay. Francisco, QQQ, one of the good ones, man. I don't know if you're already invested in that, but QQQ is one of my favorite ETFs. So right now it's got a lot of support at 513. If that breaks tomorrow, it's probably gonna hit 510, and if that breaks, it's probably gonna fill in this gap that you see here, right there, which is from like 490 all the way to 500. So if it breaks $500, it's probably gonna try to hit the 595, 593, somewhere around that range, which is a gap that was left last Monday when they announced the deal with China. So it jumped. It left a big gap that day. Jose, Nvidia is great, man. It's got good news. It's got everything. The only bad thing is the news that dropped today. What do you think about Trump Pizza, considering what tomorrow is, plus his shareholder dinner? Considering what tomorrow is, plus his share. I don't know. Is there a meeting tomorrow? I mean, I usually read the news in the morning so that I know what's gonna happen in the day. I don't know if there's a dinner tomorrow, so I'll be probably reading about that tomorrow. Kitty Beanie. Is there news about or I'm sorry, is there a dinner with shareholders? I don't know. Liz, how do you pick your stocks to swing? Liz, well, that is a very long description, but I basically look at a couple of different things. Okay, I look at how much cash they have in reserves. So how much cash do they have to invest in expansion? I look at the P ratio. I look at growth, right? What kind of company is this? Is this a company that is going to be here in 10 years because they have plans for AI, for example, which is the next big thing? I look at the value at risk, and I look at the beta, which is the volatility of the stock. Is this a stock that moves a lot, or is this a stock that usually stays flat? So I look at different elements. If some of those don't make sense to you, I'm gonna be dropping some videos pretty soon explaining what to look for in a company, and I'm going to explain each one of those in a video so that when you guys investigate what is a good company to invest in, you can look at all of those things and know whether it's a good company that's going to protect your money. Okay, so look for those videos, follow the channel, and I'll be dropping some of those pretty soon. Um, Leslie, IBKR or Webull, like the stock? I don't know. Send me the ticker symbol for Webull. I don't know the ticker symbol. I know the company. It's like a trading platform, just like Robinhood and other trading platforms. Can you explain how you will enter a trade or show how? City. This is how I do it. Okay, when I enter a trade, this is when I entered a few weeks ago. So I bought Nvidia, right? I'll give you the example of Nvidia. So I'm looking at the daily candles. So each one of those candles represents one day, and then I'm looking at the RSI. You see this graph right down here? So that's the RSI. That the RSI tells me when a stock is oversold or overbought. That simple. I make things very simple with my trades. So you are gonna see here the RSI trying to touch this line at the bottom. Anytime the RSI touches the line at the bottom, and it's a company that I already investigated, I know it's a good company, it has good earnings, it has good growth, it has good EPS, all of that stuff that I just mentioned. If it has all of those elements and I like those elements, and it hits the oversold line, then I get into some positions. You know, I don't buy all the money at once or a lot of stocks at once. I buy maybe, I don't know, but 20 shares or 30 shares depending on the cost. And if it drops more, then I buy more. Okay, any time that is close to this line here, like it was back in April 4th, right, when it dropped. I bought some shares at not at 89 because it did drop to 89, but I was able to catch some at $93. So I bought some shares at 93. I bought some shares at 94 or 95, then at 100. I think the last time I bought was 115, somewhere around that range. That's where I stopped buying because I noticed that it was getting a little bit higher to the oversold area. I'm sorry, overbought, the overbought area up here. When the RSI hits the overbought area, that's when I usually start selling. Okay, so I buy down here, as you can see, when it hit the RSI at the bottom, and then I sell whenever it's at the oversold area, which I was very close to sell today. I think my plan was for Nvidia to hit 139, 140, and then get out of that position. But then the news came out about the bond market and everything that I talked about at the beginning of the live, and it didn't give me the chance to get out because I wasn't expecting that. So those are sometimes things that happen. But I'm still in the position. I'm trying to get out of it by tomorrow or Thursday. I'm still in the positive, so I don't care. I mean, if I make less money because of these news, it's okay. I'm still in the positive, so I'll be all right. All right. So, guys, if you guys can help me with the lives, I'm trying to get to 20K before I leave tonight. Uh, if you guys like my answers, if I answer your question, please tap the screen. That helps me a lot with the motivation for TikTok to get more people into the channel with the algorithm so that the video goes out to more people. So that's the only thing that I asked for. Okay, let's continue. Let's see what's strong. Oh, okay. So Liz, I answered your question. What stocks do you pick? Webull. Yeah, I just needed the ticker symbol. CT. Yeah. So that was the question that I answered. Jose Webull. Okay, I'll look at Webull in a second. I just need the ticker symbol. thoughts on QQQ. So I shared that earlier. Tomorrow, opening tomorrow. Francisco, I don't know, man. The futures so far are looking okay. So, I mean, tomorrow we might wake up in the green. We need to see the pre market to see how that's going to behave. Thoughts on NVIDIA and Google tomorrow, Jose? Again, same thing with the QQQ. We are in the, see, on NVIDIA and, okay, so NVIDIA right now it's at 132.23. So it's a little bit lower than when it closed, I think, because it closed at, let's see, it closed at 131. So it's a little bit higher than where it closed right now. But again, futures don't really guarantee what's going to happen tomorrow. But NVIDIA and Google are two of the great companies that there are. The bad news that dropped today, I don't think that's going to send these stocks to the bottom. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. I really don't think that's going to happen. And I think if anything, they'll be choppy. They'll be maybe dropping and pulling up a little bit, but definitely they're not going to move a lot unless we have good or bad news with the reports that come out tomorrow, which is the PMI and also the unemployment claims. So we'll have to see. Nobody knows what the information is going to be before market opens. But once that information is released, that's going to set the move either up or down. Best dividend stocks. Coca-Cola, I think they pay pretty good dividends. I think their dividends are about 3 or 4%. So that's one of the good ones. Most of the stocks that don't really move, like T-Mobile, they pay good dividends just to kind of compensate for the stock not being volatile. CHCD, good dividend. Which one is that one? Tesla just bought some NVIDIA. Dawson, yeah. So Elon Musk announced that yesterday that he was going to buy 1 million Blackwell chips, and that's a lot. Each one of those Blackwell chips costs between $10,000 and $40,000, and Tesla is going to buy 1 million. They're gonna get some from Nvidia, they're gonna get some from AMD, but still, that's a lot of revenue for Nvidia. So Nvidia's got good news after good news after good news. It's only dropping because of the macro economy, not because of something that Nvidia is doing. Do you tell your students to invest early? Oh, in school? I don't really go into this topic just because in school we're not supposed to teach students this kind of stuff, or not that we're not supposed to, but it's not part of the curriculum. So if a student asks me about this stuff, I do share it, but typically I just keep it to myself unless they ask, okay? Because it's not part of what I teach. So I don't want to get off topic and then have some parents mad because I'm teaching something I'm not supposed to, or have some complaints with administration or something like that. So I avoid it with my students. Que bien, maestro. Saludo. James, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Can you teach us how to do swing trade, Dawson? Well, I just mentioned earlier how I enter into my positions. Every single trader has a different way to enter into positions. This is my method. This is the safe method that I think is going to pay me money. But every person is different. They make their own conclusions. They make their own research. If you were here, Dawson, when I explained how I wait for my trades to hit the RSI at the bottom so that I can buy some, and then I buy a little bit at a time. Every time it's dropping, I buy a little and then a little. That is called dollar cost average, okay? Because I know and I believe in the company, and I just enter a little bit at a time so that in case that it keeps dropping, I can buy more at the bottom. Because if I drop all at once and the stock drops double, then I don't have any more money to put in, right? So I buy a little bit, and even if it doesn't drop anymore, at least I was exposed a little, and if it goes back up, I'm still making money. So nobody's gonna be mad about that. Rosario, who's your friend? What friend, Rosario? I want to learn too. CT. Well, okay, so let's start with the book, CT. If you're interested in that book, it's a free PDF. I can share it with you. Just send me your email, and I'll send it to you. What do you think about UNH? UNH. Let's see. Ooh, I have a lot of. Sorry, guys, if it's taking me a little longer to to get to your comment. I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. UNH is a company that has a lot of problems right now. It pumped to 320, and today it dumped to like under 300. So it still has a lot of problems because it's dealing with an investigation by the DOJ because of fraud. So I wouldn't enter into that position just yet. I need more clarification. What is a good profit target when swing trading? It depends. It varies from person to person. For me, um, if I enter a position, and I'm trading it in a couple weeks, then if I make $1,000, that's great. But again, it all depends on how many shares you buy, and what your goal is. Anytime you get money out of the market, that is, that is a good profit. That's profit. Nobody's gonna be mad about making $200-300 in a week by you just leaving the money there, because nobody else is gonna pay you that money. But for me personally, as long as I can make a couple $1,000s every month in a single trade, I'm happy. And I do a couple trades for different stocks. So if I make a couple thousand for every stock, that's about $5,000 or $4,000 that I can make in a month. And that's just on top of my job, because my job is teaching. So I do that and I get paid, but then I'm making some money on the side. So, and eventually I plan to do it full time. So, but for now, I'm still doing my job. Could you please do a TA on Reddit, please? It's dropping almost every day. Reddit, RD. I heard about that one earlier. RDDT. RDDDT. Let's take a look at it. I think I analyzed that earlier. All right, guys. If you guys can help me with the tabs as I look up this stock, we really appreciate it. Again, that helps me with the live and helps me, to get more people in this live. So appreciate that. Okay, so let's take a look at Reddit. Reddit. This is like a social media platform, isn't it? I heard about that one. I mean, Reddit went to it pumped to 226, and then it went down to 95. There's not enough structure and fundamentals in this company yet, so I wouldn't get into this company. It's very volatile. Um, there's not a lot of info. I don't know what their let's see what their cash flow is, so that I can have a better idea. See cash flow 126 million. Okay, it's not too bad. So I would need to investigate this company to see if it will be a good trade for me. Look at the PE ratio, look at the beta, look at the free cash flow, all those things. But as of now, I wouldn't enter into a trade with this because it just had a very bad drop since February, and it's probably going to continue to drop by the looks of this chart. See, so it's got a lot of resistance at 126 now, and from there it has support at around, I'll tell you, around $80. So it's been moving in that range. So I would wait either for, if you're gonna short the stock, I would wait for the stock to be below 80, and if you're gonna go long, then somewhere around above 125, 127. How many days do you buy in option contracts when you swing? Paseo. It depends. Like today, I was going to buy. I did buy some contracts for Google, and this is a covered call. So I bought some covered calls for Google for next Friday, and then Google dropped. So I think I'm gonna be able to get out of that contract by tomorrow if the stock drops more. If it doesn't, then I'm still good. I already collected my premium. So I usually do it 2 weeks just to kind of collect some money. But if you do options, that's a whole different thing. I don't do options. Jose, option for tomorrow. Jose, option for what? For what stock? Or I mean, I can't tell you what stock to buy, man, because I don't know if you're trading day trading or you're trying to swing trade or long term trade. So I don't know what your plan is, man. I have Tesla at 65557 calls today. Heard. Wally, That's great, man. I don't do options because options you kind of have to. Everything has to line up. You have to be able to assert on the date, and you also have to be able to assert on or be right on the price that you set for the Tesla. If your strike price is at 557, I mean those things have to align. If they don't align, then you're not gonna win. So I don't like options. I'm not an expert in options, but that's how much I know about it, and that is just a lot of luck for you to hit both targets, the date and the price. Um, Bitcoin hit 111. Oh, okay. I mean, good for those guys that have Bitcoin. I don't have Bitcoin. I'm not expert in Bitcoin, so I wouldn't be able to help you with any crypto. But I know the fundamentals. Some of the things of Bitcoin and how it moves, but I don't really trade Bitcoin. VWEHX, good mutual fund. Oh, I don't know it. I prefer other stocks, but that might be a good one. Can you do Tesla? Yeah, we can look at Tesla. So Tesla, it went down to 334 today. Tesla is riding a lot on the robo taxi that comes out next month at the end of the month. Elon said yesterday that he's going to have about 1,000 robo taxis um, working by the end of June, and then about 100,000 by the end of the year. We'll see. I mean, I was worried that he was going to say that it was going to get delayed again, and but he didn't. So he's still, excuse me, with the plan that the robotaxi is going to be here uh, at the end of June, and it's going to be only in Texas, and then eventually he's going to bring it to LA and and LA and San Francisco. I feel the same way for crypto, like music chair. Yeah, crypto is it's a little tough, man. I'm not educated. I'm not an expert in TikTok, so that's a tough thing for me to trade. Savvy, thank you for the gift. Rosario, thank you for the gift. Appreciate it. Michelle, Knight, Rescatando, Julie, Lights, DZ, GR, Currency D, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. If you guys are sharing the live and are bringing more people to the live, thank you very much. And thank you again for the taps. If I answer your question, if you guys give me some likes, that is awesome as well. So thank you, appreciate it. Opinion on IWM. I don't know what that is, man. IWM. But we can take a look at it really quick. Oh, the Russell, the ETF. I don't even have it down on my list. I don't know why. I mean, any ETF is not bad. I don't know this ETF. I don't really trade it. It doesn't. I mean, typically ETFs they are the safe bet, for you to put the money long term. So if you're planning to enter into a position here, I mean, just know that right now it's trending. It's a little bit in the at the bottom. So I mean, you can buy some. It depends. Again, your goal. If your goal is to not sell this stock in 10 years, then I would say it'd be probably a good idea to long term invest it. Um, but let's look at the this not the 6 month, the 5 year. So in the 5 year, um, I don't see some growth in this stock in this ETF. I mean, it's flat. Look at this. Like it hasn't it back in 21 it was 232, and then jumped to January of this year it's the same amount. So if you're gonna invest in ETFs, pick something that's gonna grow. I mean, I'll give you an S&P 500 ETF with the 5 year, and just take a look at this chart, right? Same year, back in 2021, this stock was 339. Now it's 590. So now that is some growth, and it's an uptrend. So if you're picking an ETF, pick some of the good ones. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just pick some of the good ones that already pay good in the long term. See, Dawson, no bleeding after hours, so probably flat tomorrow or green. Yeah, that's what I think too. There was the the futures are in a little bit in the green today, so that kind of gives you a good hint that tomorrow might be flat or maybe recover a little bit, but depends on the reports in the morning. If they are really aggressive, then they're gonna make a difference in how the market moves. Um, what do you think about Grab? What is Grab? RSS. Grab. Grab Holdings Limited. I don't know this stock, but we can look at the technicals really quick, and I can tell you that this is a horrible stock. Um, I mean, it's been in a downtrend from highs of $16 back in. Let's see. Let's look at the daily one. Yeah, I mean, ever since February 21, it was at $17, and now it's $5. So you can make your own conclusion what kind of stock this is. If 5 years ago it was at 15 and now it's at 5, where do you think it's going to be in 5 years? Okay. So, I mean, you have done your research on this stock. In my opinion, I wouldn't put my money on this just because it doesn't look like it's going up. It looks like it's going down. If I feel we got credit downgrade because of Trump, even he got close to some deals, but he's got BK4 6 time. Uh, I don't know if the down. I mean, I think the downgrade was coming anyways, regardless of who is in the administration, just because of the government spending year after year. So I think that was coming. I just think Moody, I mean, they just waited uh, until they got more reassurance that the United States was more in debt because of the bills that have been created that will probably lower taxes but increase debt. Okay, I think that's something that's in the works right now. So I think that just kind of trigger Moody to downgrade the United States credit. I'm new in this options. Joe, what app is this? This one is called TradingView. What do you think about Palantir? Very expensive stock, man. Very, very expensive. Very dangerous to invest in Palantir. Palantir is a good company. Don't get me wrong. It's a great company. I think it's got a lot of potential, but right now it's very expensive. 14 and I have 1K. I need some help. Jacob, what you have 1K to invest or to? I mean, if you're 14, is that what you mean? 14. I mean, I would talk to my parents, have them create a broker's account and put it into an ETF, which an ETF could be something like the SPY, the S&P 500, and leave it there. Leave it there. By the time if your parents or you keep putting money into this stock, by the time you're 24, you're gonna have pretty good money in there. So invest long term. What's your opinion on? Okay, we answer that. It's Tesla, technically overvalued. Yeah, I mean, on top of Tesla just riding on the idea of the robo taxi, it's also overvalued. It has let's see, what's the price to earnings? So price to earnings ratio is the PE ratio is 189, which means you have to put in about $189 to make a dollar. So that is pretty expensive when there are other companies that have a lower PE ratio. Palantir, risky and overvalued. Dawson, I mean, you beat me to it. Nvidia, what do you think on? Oh, what do you think of NTVS, Nvidia partnership? Liz, NTVS. I haven't heard about that one. I know they Nvidia buys companies, and TVS. So Nvidia buys companies, and sometimes I just find out like later. NTVS. You know what? I don't think I have that in my platform. Is that the ticker symbol? NTVS. Yeah, I don't think I have that. So I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about that company. But I know Nvidia buys a lot of small companies to kind of invest their money and see if it grows because they want to grow their money even more. Nvidia needs to be about 108. Yeah, I mean, Nvidia, I don't think it's an expensive stock right now, Dawson. I think the PE ratio it's not too bad because of all the revenue they're bringing, all the revenue they're creating in the next quarter because of the investment they're getting from Saudi Arabia. I don't think the PE ratio it's too expensive, but it does need to drop a little. I think definitely by earnings we'll know where it's gonna go. Palantir technically overvalued. Yeah, absolutely. Valuation between 60 and 55 at the current moment. Are you talking about the PE ratio? The PE ratio of Palantir is like 600, not 65. It's 600. If you look at the PE ratio, that's what makes it very expensive. I own it and have it on hand at 16. It's like a unicorn. It could keep going up. Man, I mean, if you had the vision back in like 2 years ago, I think that's when Palantir was at about $16. Congratulations, man. Props to you. I don't know when you're planning to take some profits on that. I think Palantir is gonna grow and keep growing just for new investors to pay $120 per share when the price to earnings is at 600. I think that's a little bit pricey. Best way to invest: VOO, VTI. Yeah, I have all of these here. No, VOO, VTI. All of these track the S&P 500, so they're just a little bit cheaper than the SPY, but they track the same thing. Risk reward, they are very comparable. Yep, absolutely, James. You are right. You're correcto. What do you think about lottery? NYC, what do you think about what do you mean lottery? Nvidia is technically undervalued now with the last couple quarters gaining 30% quarter after quarter. Yeah, I mean, I do think that it needs to pull back a little because it's been in an uptrend for the past couple weeks, but I still believe it's undervalued. But I will get into more positions if it drops. So, because I still believe in the company. Rob, what's the title? The title of what, Rob? Thoughts on LY. What is that one? Let's see. What RSI do you use? It's in TradingView. It's just the RSI that's defaulted. I just changed a couple of settings, but that's the default RSI. I like your channel. Currency, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the you guys sharing the live and tapping the screen. So I think I am almost at a new record, over 223 likes. So again, the more likes I get, the better the algorithm for the video to get more people into the live. So if you guys tap the screen before I leave, I got about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna try to get to all your questions. Nvidia put. I mean, it hasn't hit all-time high. So if that's your put that you're trying to play, by all means, man. But all-time high is around 150. Marble, MRVL. I heard about that one, Charles. I don't know this company, MRVL. See, Marble Technology. I don't know exactly what they do, but I heard of it. But I didn't hear good things about it, and that's probably why, because it dropped from like 115 to where it is right now in the past month, and it's still in a downtrend. It's trending under the 200 SMA, so probably at this time it wouldn't be a good company to invest in because it is under the 200 SMA, and typically stocks that trade under it, for the most part, if they're not strong companies, they have a really hard time trying to break above that. See, I don't want to miss anyone. Tesla, I talked about Tesla. It is expected to keep dropping tomorrow. I don't know, man. The futures are looking okay right now. So, period. Hey, man, welcome. Thank you. What do you think about SPY long term? I mean, SPY long term is. I have SPY long term, and my goal is to in 10 years, try to cash some of that money that I'm putting in the SPY. Do you trade SPY? No. I try to use stocks that are more volatile that can give me more money. The SPY, as you know, it doesn't really move a lot. Sometimes it does move, like $4 or $5, but for the most part, it stays within a range, $2-3 up or down. So I don't trade I don't trade SPY, but I do buy it long term. See, so I got all those comments, all those questions I answered about Tesla. Folio, LTRY, LTRY, lottery.com. Oh, is that the one you told me? Okay. It's I mean, I already know it's a penny stock. Penny stocks are very volatile, as you can see. Without even looking at the chart, I know it's gonna have aggressive moves up, aggressive moves down, and I already see this one here. And if you go down in history, I mean, you're gonna see these aggressive moves. You see that red candle here? I mean, let me make it bigger. Okay, see that big drop here, and then big drop up, and then another big drop here. So when you see stocks like this that just move aggressively, and especially this one is in a downtrend, um, so which means that it hasn't made higher highs, right? If you take a line here and you start to draw it there, I mean, you're gonna see the stock just keep dropping, just like that. So when you see stocks like that, why would you put your money in something that's in a downfall? It's downtrending, so no good. Stock market S&P return average 20% if zoomed out, not lottery. Stock market S&P return average 20%. I mean, average for the S&P it's about 10%. Dawson, yearly on average it returns 10%. Lately, for the past 2 years, last year and the year before, it did return about 23, 24%. So some years are pretty good. That's why it's average about 10%. Um, Tesla, okay, we answered about Tesla. What do you think about SPY? So SPY long term is great. Do you trade SPY? I don't. Tesla, Wally. So we talked about Tesla. Overvalued. Right now, it's just riding on the whole idea of the robo taxi. So if that delivers next month, we'll see what happens. I like your channel. Thank you. Thank you, Currency again. And if you guys are not following yet, please follow. Tap the screen. For the likes. Currency D, me too. So such knowledge. Savage, appreciate that comment. That motivates me to keep doing this, and doing these lives at night. The RSI, so we shared about that. SPY tomorrow, Creso. I think tomorrow SPY is gonna be flat. Depends on the news. Remember, in the morning um, at 5:30 a.m. Pacific, we have the reports on unemployment and the reports on PMI. I'll be sharing that in a video tomorrow. So if you guys haven't followed the channel, follow the channel. You will see that tomorrow. See, share the live. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for sharing. If you guys are sharing the live and tapping the screen with the likes, very much appreciated. See, Bohemian, your friend who has a WhatsApp just to follow and watch his videos too. I'm learning to trade. Good job, Rosario. Learning. If you want to enter into this business, it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of watching videos, and it's a lot of asking questions. So ask your questions as you read. Ask questions because that's what's gonna help you remember stuff and practice it. United Healthcare, Yair. United Healthcare, it's still in trouble. It's still being investigated by the DOJ. So be careful with that. If you enter into a trade and they come out with the news that they did actually commit fraud, that stock is gonna keep dropping. Okay, so let's look at a few last comments. It is filling the gap now. Reddit, yeah. So stocks always fill in the gaps. So if you guys see gaps in between one day and another, they always fill in. Palantir, very very expensive. P ratio is in the sky. It's up here in the clouds. What's the less risky to make money on the stock market? JR, long term, investing in a good ETF like the S&P 500 that you see up here, it's always gonna pay off because as you can see, the SPY, no matter what happens, I'm gonna look at the 5-year chart. It always goes up. Okay, it always goes up. See that uptrend from here? It has some dips, just like all the stocks, but then it always recovers, makes higher highs, and then lower highs, and then higher highs, lower highs. So it always gives and pays your money back. So SPY long term, 100%. Do you know about SoFi? If so, what are your thoughts? SoFi, it's a good company, and right now, I mean, I think the highest the all-time highs was about $17, which you can see up here. I was trading this stock for a while, but right now it's been a little bit choppy. Just lows of about $12 and then going to 13, 14, and then dropping again. Right now it's at 12.80. So I think it's a good company for the future. So if you want to put in some money in there or you're planning to enter into this stock, I don't think it's a crazy idea to buy this stock. This is a good stock that I studied a while back. I haven't looked at the free cash flow and all those different pieces of data on this company, but the last time I did, it looked like a pretty decent company. So I think definitely it's got a lot of potential. Um, okay, so what do you think about TJR? Okay, I'll look at that lastly. Give me a second. Evie, welcome to the channel. I know Evie is one of the first people that joined my live. So Evie, thank you for being here. Liz, NVTS. Okay, I'll look at that in a second. Selected by NVIDIA Core. Oh, that's the one you told me about, to collaborate on the next generation 800V HVDC architecture. Okay, yeah, I don't have it on my platform list, so I couldn't look at that company. Selected by NVIDIA Corp to collaborate on next generation. So yeah, I don't know if they are even public. Thank you for the follow. Your mom, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. James, lottery equal to meme crypto penny stocks. Yeah, I really agree with you, James. I think you and I are on the same page. So if you guys are trading penny stocks, those are the most dangerous stocks to trade. Penny stocks is any stock that is less than $5. That's what the stock market considers penny stocks. For those of you that didn't know, EV or run correction ORKT. What do you think about AMC? And gave you wrong ticker. It's NVTS. Okay, let's take a look at those last ticker symbols and then we will call it a night. So NVTS. Is that the one? Okay, Navitas Semiconductor. Okay, so that's the one. Let's take a look. Well, it is a penny stock, Liz. So a little dangerous when it's a penny stock. Again, just because of what I explained. And it is in a downtrend since January. So if they are partnering with NVIDIA, I don't know what they're doing, because I mean, usually if they are partnering with NVIDIA and they're connected, they tend to move with NVIDIA, and this stock is moving the opposite way. So it's going lower. It's going in that downtrend. I mean, you could see it right here. If you draw the line here to here, it's keeping it's making higher lows, and lower lows. So very dangerous to trade these type of companies unless they have a catalyst news. Then probably. And here are the news. See, this is what you said, right? NVIDIA selects Nvidia Semiconductor to work on the next generation 800. Yeah, so same thing you mentioned. Here are the news on TradingView right there. But I didn't see. I mean, for having such good news, there is no jump in this stock. It keeps dropping. So in order for you to enter into a stock and know that it's breaking that downtrend, it's got to break it. So it either has to make a move here and break that downtrend, because right now it's respecting that blue line. I don't know if you guys can see it. So let's say if we go to the week or the day, let's see what's clear. I think the week. So if you guys see the blue line here, it needs to break that line to know that it's breaking the downtrend. Right now, it's not breaking the downtrend. It's respecting that downtrend. It just keeps going lower. So I would be very careful, Liz, with this. I wouldn't trade it personally until I see that breaking that downtrend. It went from 190 to 620. I mean, it's right now it's at 191. So what do you mean it went to 620? Because I see it very low. How you can flip 50, 100 and double them scalping and day trading? Is it possible? How can you flip 50? What do you mean? Oh, after close. Oh, so after they announced it? Oh, maybe. Let's look at the 4-hour. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. So it did after close. It did close at around $5. Oh, okay. So now you're talking. Now you're talking about the stock breaking the downtrend. I would wait, because this is probably gonna pull back tomorrow, just because those big jumps are not natural for stocks. So it's probably going to pull back and then hit some kind of resistance. If you look at the daily, of this. It's got resistance somewhere around. So if it went to all six, it's got some resistance that's gonna become support now, at 450, somewhere around there. So that stock has to come back, hit that 450, and then bounce back up. If it breaks through it, then that means it's not using that as support, and it's probably gonna drop to the next support, which is around 350. So get some confirmation before you enter into this stock. Again, you can do your own research, but wait for confirmation so that you know that it's going to keep moving up, because right now it just jumped, but you don't know if it's going to continue that jump or if it's just going to drop. So all right, so thank you guys again for being here in the live. Thank you for all the likes. I think we almost got to 30K. We're at 29,000 likes, which is a brand new record. I think my last one was at around 20, and that happened not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, I believe. So that's a brand new record. Every time I'm here, I'm trying to hit a new record. My goal, of course, is to eventually get to 100K and 200K likes, and then eventually to a million. Right? I'm looking long term investment into this channel. So if you guys were here tonight and enjoyed the little chat we had, and you like the answers and the stuff that I had to share with you, I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me some of your time, and I hope that you guys are able to get a good night's rest. Tomorrow I'll be dropping some news in the morning, just so that you guys know what's going on in the market and what's gonna happen during the day based on the news that we get early in the morning. So always, before I end the lives, I like to end with a quote. I have a lot of quotes that I copy when I read stuff from Warren Buffett and other big investors. No, so this is the quote that I have from Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett says that you don't need to make a lot of decisions. You just need to make the correct decisions. That comes when you buy stocks. You don't need to be, buying 10 different stocks. Maybe you just buy one, and that one is going to make up for the decisions that you would have taken if you would have bought 10 other stocks. So you don't need to make a lot of decisions. You just need to make the correct ones. And with that, I'm going to call it a night. See you guys in the next live tomorrow. So we'll talk about what happens in the market tomorrow, and hope you guys are able to rest today, and we'll see each other pretty soon.